How's it going, and welcome to the Guitar Effect. In this video I'm going to be trying something a bit different. I'm starting a new, probably to start with, monthly Monday episode where I talk about original music. And the reason I'm doing this is I actually started this channel back in COVID, whenever that was, 2021 I think is when I started it. And I actually started it as a way to try and draw attention to my originals band. As it turned out, it turned into something far more guitar centric, which I'm quite happy about. And I've never particularly tried to drive people to my own band's material other than using it in the demos that I use to demonstrate equipment. But I've been thinking about this lately, and I think that there's now I've got just under 7,000 followers. And of those, I think there's probably 1,000 that engage with the videos I put out every week. And I kind of thought to myself that I've been playing original music since I was a kid, which is like, since I was well over 30 years. I'm not going to go into my age, but let's just say that. And it's where my passion lies. It's the reason I play guitar. It's all original music. I play a lot of covers as well, kind of to make money. In a lot of instances, I make money with covers to support my original music. So what I'm going to do is, every fourth Monday, basically, unless it gets more popular, I'm going to try a thing where in this case, I've just shown you a video there of my band's new single. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the piece of gear that I use to play that song live and why what I use to play it live contributes to its sound. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an email address, which I'll put down in the description below, where people can submit a song, a picture of their gear, and why they use that gear to play their song. And I'll talk about it every fourth Monday. And if it gains traction and people want to do that and people enjoy the format, maybe we could start getting into like video calls between myself and the other guitar players. So I'm inviting guitar players in our community to submit an original song that we can play here and air on the channel to the 6,000 followers or 7,000 followers. And I'm inviting people to send their gear and talk to me about how they use that gear and why they like using it to play that song live. Only original material, no covers, thanks. And also, look, I'm just going to be straight up about this, going, don't submit any hip hop, because it's not that I don't like hip hop, I don't mind it, but I'm not an authority on it to be able to kind of talk about it. I play alternative rock, so rock, blues, alternative music, indie, pop, anything like that. Submit it if you're interested, with the gear that you use to play the song, and we'll get a bit of coverage for the song, and we'll also talk about gear, because I know people watch this channel to hear about gear, not necessarily to hear about original music, but I think that we all use this gear to play music, and a lot of us hopefully use it to play original music. So that's what the idea is. So if people send in submissions of stuff that they'd like to talk about, I'll be happy to review it and see if I think it's applicable, and then make an episode about it. And I think at first I'll just talk about, like, send me a description of the gear, a picture of the gear, and why you think it works in this song, and I'll cover it. And if people get into it, well, then we'll start getting into maybe recording Zoom calls about conversations between me and the other guitar players about why they think that gear works. And the reason I do this is because there's a lot of functionality emphasis on my channel. And I think that gear that helps people get out and play original music in local music scenes specifically is something that I cover a lot, and I'm really passionate about that. So I'd love to hear stories from people around the world about how they're pushing their bands out and how the gear that they use helps them do that. Okay. So, that's the format of the show. I don't know whether this is going to take off at all. I kind of feel like almost like duty bound that if we have this audience, and the reason I say this is we've been playing my band for 3 years, and gathering an audience for original music, especially that's not pop centric, is really, really difficult. And we have this audience here of the 7,000 people that I think there's bound to be a lot of really good original music there, and I'd love to try and help spread the word about that original music, including my own. So on that note, I'm going to move on to talking about what I'm going to talk about in this particular episode of this show, which is my music, right? So Kampala. Kampala is my band. I started the band in 2020, but we didn't really get it together to the extent that we could put a single out until August of 2022. Our first single came out in August of 22, And since then, we've put out an EP of 6 songs and 1 extra single. So we've 7 songs on Spotify. All of our links will be in the description of this video if you want to go check us out. And we're an alt rock band. We're a 4-piece alt rock band, recently a 4-piece. For the majority of the time we were a 3-piece, but we recently brought in an unbelievable guitar player called Dan, who was taking a lot of the guitar playing work away from me, which is great because I'm the singer in the band and the front man. And we play alternative rock, and we kind of have a 90s kind of aesthetic, but with electronica underneath it, right? So we're sort of like a dark sounding rock band, basically alternative rock band. The single that I played at the beginning, or the video that I played at the beginning of this video, is called 15 Seconds, and that's our new single. And what that specifically is, and that's why the context of this being a gear-centric video is, 15 Seconds is our new single, and in March of this year, as we do every year, we go over to Germany to play some shows and spend some time in the studio, like writing, maybe recording, and in this case, we made some content. So that is in the live room of the studio where we're playing a fully live cut, no overdubs at all, of 15 Seconds. That video in full will be out next Friday on, or this coming Friday. Yes, this coming Friday on YouTube. So what I'd ask is, if you like the song that you heard at the beginning, go check out our links, go over to our YouTube channel, have a listen to our stuff if you like it, subscribe. And then if you like the stuff and you want to kind of have it in more succinct format, go over to our Spotify where all our stuff is there and have a listen to it. If you like the stuff, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, all the normal stuff, and on YouTube. If you don't. I'm not asking for people to go and like support our band because you like my YouTube channel. They're different things. But I'm asking people to, you know, that like the YouTube channel, to give it the benefit of the doubt, to at least go and give it a listen. And that's what I would do with every person that sends in a piece of content that they want to get exposure on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the pedal board that I used when I went to Germany, right? So when we go to Germany, we have to fly, right? So I can only bring a pedal board and 1 guitar with me, and the pedal board has to be small enough to fit in a 10-kilogram suitcase. And the pedal board that I'm going to get into in a minute, just really quickly go through, because I've made a video about the pedal before. In fact, I'll stick a video up here of a full demo of that pedal board. And also, we're also recording our own album at the moment, 15 Seconds being the first single from that album, which will be out at Christmas. So I have a lot of content coming up as well about how we're recording that album ourselves. No producer, we're recording ourselves. Basically, I'm producing it, and it's being mixed by an amateur mixer friend of mine. So that's an interesting thing as well, and we're doing it for super cheap at our rehearsal room. So if you want to know more about that, stick it in the comments down below and I can get into that. So here is the guitar rig that I travelled to Germany with and that I gig live with for compact handiness sake. And here it is playing the song you heard at the beginning, 15 Seconds. Please go to our website and check it out. Okay, so here is my pedal board that I play in the vast majority of instances that I'm doing anything outside of our studio with Kampala. It's a HX effects and a Boss OD200 and a Moore preamp live. The HX effects does all the modulation, delay, pitch shifting, reverb, those things, right? All the overdrive and distortion comes from the OD200, and the OD200 is controlled via the HX effects. When I make a patch change or a snapshot change, it changes sound on the OD200. The OD200 has 4 presets. It has a blues breaker, a muff, a Marshall in a box, and a clone in positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. The Moore preamp live at the back is there for when I need to go direct with this. The B output goes straight into it, and it goes, it's my direct, it's got an amp and cab sound, and it goes straight to the PA, right? Right now, I'm not using it. I'm using the amp in the room, which is a Vox AC30 model from the new X Solid Studio Mark II, and that's the amp I use for everything that I do here. When I gig, if I can, if I'm not using a house amp, I bring a Victory a Victory copper head and a Harley Benton 1x12 vintage 30 cab, and that's my amp. So all of my drive and everything, all my effects, all my changes come from the HX effects via the OD200 into the copper or whatever house amp I happen to be using if I can't bring the copper with me for whatever reason. This, funnily enough, is the guitar that I use in the video that I showed you at the beginning. This is my Yamaha Revstar. It's one of 2 Yamaha Revstars I have. It is a humbucker and Bigsby equipped one, right? So I'm just going to show you really quickly. Oh, by the way, sorry, before I get into this, this setup can do a lot, right? And I have several videos about this pedal board, and I'll put the last one I made up here, right? So that you can see, or here, wherever it is, I'll put it up so you can see how the pedal board works. But right now I'm just going to show you how this pedal board allows me to deliver that song in a way where I can sing it at the same time. So if I go out into my kind of song view, I have right here, I have 15 seconds, Modern Disease, Progress and Perfect, and there are 4 songs in my band set, right? So if I'm playing Modern Disease, I click in here, Progress, and I select the right song, then I hit these 2 switches and I get into four sections of that song. So I have intro, heavy, bridge and end, right? So how this works is, for the intro, I step on the intro switch. Then when it goes heavy, I step on the heavy switch. Then when it goes bridge, I step on the bridge switch. And when it goes end, I step on the end switch. And what that does is, I have a pre-program to make all the changes I need. So in the intro, there is a reverb and a reverb and a compressor. On heavy, there's a muff and a compressor. On the bridge, there's a delay, a vibrato on one side, but I'm only using mono here, so a vibrato and a Marshall in a box. And at the end, there's a Marshall in a box. Actually, I need to make sure I'm turning on the boost here. At the end, there's a Marshall in a box with a boost on and some delay. So there's a lot of different changes happening there, but for the intro, I'm just going. And then when the band comes in, I just hit heavy, it turns on the muff. Back into the verse, goes back to the intro. Then it comes into the bridge, where I turn on that vibrato-y kind of Marshall in a box sound. Into the chorus. That's the end of the chorus, goes back to the intro until it builds when it goes back into the bridge and into the end part. So the point being, there's a lot of switching that goes on there, but the way this rig is organised, I don't have to think about any of it. I just look down, what part of the song I'm going into, hit that switch. Simples. Now that means that every time I hit the switch, it's changing the sound on the OD200 and it's changing the selected effects. Let me just show you what's in this patch. So if I go in and hit the menu and go signal flow. So right now in this patch, there is nothing there. There is a deluxe compressor, effects loop 1, there's a bubble vibrato. Effects loop 1 is the OD200. There's a bubble vibrato, an Elephant Man, and a 63 spring. That's all that's in that setup. So it's a question of switching different parts of them on and off. So look, if you want to see more about this pedal board, go look at the demo that I stuck up in the card. It's a brilliant pedal board. Also, this fits in a pedal board Metro 16, or sorry, pedal train Metro 16, which you can fit in a 10 kilogram suitcase to put in a luggage hold on a plane, which is what I use when I'm going to Germany specifically for that reason. And should I not like the sound of the amp I get, I can turn off the cab sim on the front of the preamp Model 2 from Moore and just go into the effects return of the amp with my Vox simulation. Happy days. Brilliant pedal board, allows me to play that particular song really, really well. So, there you go. A really useful tool, that pedal board, in many, many different instances. And in that tiny little room we were in, it took up a tiny bit of space on the floor, used a direct sound, recorded direct to the desk. We all played simultaneously. Totally immediate. Brilliant pedal board, absolutely brilliant. Could not do any of the Kampala stuff without it. So hopefully people find this interesting. I really would like people to send me material for me to cover once a month, and if it becomes more popular, we'll start doing it every week. I really want to hear what music people are making out there, and I really want to see what gear they're using to make that music. So, as I said, the email address, which I haven't even created yet, will be in the description down below. If you want me to cover your band, your song, and the gear you use to make that song, send me an email. Send me an email with an MP3 or a video, even better, of the song. Send me a photograph of your pedalboard and your full rig, if you like, and a verbal description in the email about why you use this rig to play that song and how it facilitates it. I'm really interested to know. As soon as I start coming in, I'll start making videos about them. So, as always, if you've watched this far, I say thanks very much. I'll iterate again, please go check out the band. If you like the stuff, I'd really appreciate it. I really want to grow the band. And let me know what you think in the comments down below too. Really interested to hear how this goes. Hopefully I'll be seeing you in another one of these videos in a month. Right, that's it. I'm going to head off. Please like and subscribe as always. And I'll see you in another video again soon. Check out Kampala, please.